Hi. So, there might be background noise, but that is just my life. I have my window open because I love the sounds of nature, and I have my daughter on her iPad so I could film this video because she doesn't take a nap during the day. She literally is up in the morning until she's ready to go to bed at night. I don't know why I feel so nervous. My heart is like racing. But this is my story of my experience as a surrogate. So I had my surrogate baby, it was a boy, in August of this past year. So I had him August 2020. I started the process maybe the year before that. It was around the summer. I know it was around summertime in 2019 because I met the parents in August, which was like right after we matched. So I'm not going to mention the names of the company I went with or the names of anyone or anything, what type of couple, whatever. I'm not going to mention that all. I started with a company. I filled out an application. Everyone always asks, so what made you want to be a surrogate? Well, I mean, it's been brought up in my past before. My mom has mentioned it, how she wanted to be one. So I've always had that idea in my head. And then when I was scrolling on Facebook, I saw an ad for it. And I did my research on some companies or organizations that you could work with. So the company I went with them because they were basically an all-female run company, and I thought it was really cool that a lot of the women who you work with, like your caseworker and the person who helps you through the beginning process, they were also surrogates themselves. So they were really on it when they were reaching out to me. After I filled out the paperwork, they sent me an email right away, and the lady who's like in charge of the like bringing in people, she was like emailing me the next day, and she's like, do you have any questions, blah blah blah. So I think if they hadn't been so on top of me, I wouldn't have maybe carried through, not in a bad way. It's just sometimes I need a little pushing in order to do something. So it helped that she was like constantly in contact with me, because then it made me want to do it more. So it, like after a week or two, not even, probably a week, she's like, we can start sending you couples so you can see like how you feel about them, and then if you like them, we can send them your resume, and then well, like resume but like your background, and see if they like you. And so that was nice that they like definitely tried to match you with who they ask you, like, what do you believe in? Are you comfortable with like same-sex couples? Are you comfortable with just all the different things, carrying twins, stuff like that. So after a short while, maybe 2 weeks, I matched with the couple that I had the baby for, and it just so happened they were vacationing close to where I live, and I was able to meet them, which was really cool. They were super nice, and it was nice to have that bond before I got into the process, because not a lot of, especially if you're doing like international stuff, not a lot of surrogates have contact with the family until they actually give birth to the baby. Like, that's another thing they ask you too, is like, how much communication do you want? Us, we messaged back and forth whenever we felt like it, so it was a casual thing. I didn't feel like crazy connection, like crazy like they were on me all the time. No, it wasn't like that, and it wasn't like, oh, they don't ever talk to me. So it was a good amount of communication. So after I match, then you wait. They take you through all these tests. You get a psychological exam, you get a physical exam, and then once you pass that part, it's like so hard to remember every single little detail because it happened such a while ago, and I'm just not good at remembering some stuff. But after that, they you wait for your medication schedule. So once you get that, you get to start doing your shots for the IV. Actually, sorry. They put you on birth control so they can control your cycle to pick a fertilization date and when you can start your medication. So I was on birth control for about like a month or two, something like that. And then I got to start my medication. I took oral medications. I took an injection in the stomach. And then when you get closer to the fertilization day, and for a couple weeks after, you also do shots in the butt. Thank you, baby. So yeah, it was the process. I think the medication time took about 3 months because I started them in October. Oh, the process, it's like hurry up, wait, because like I forgot about the lawyer part. Sorry if it's back and forth, but you go through all the law papers, life insurance, all that stuff. That takes a while. So you're like, hurry up and getting all that information. Then you're waiting. So then you hurry up and do all the medications. And then, yeah, basically you get that. I started medications in October. My fertilization day was in December. So I went to that. You know, it's not as scary as you think it is. It's a really quick process, literally. And it's cool because I got to see the little like embryo on the screen. And I got to take pictures for them and show them. So that was so cute. But after that, it took about like 6 or 7 days until I got a positive pregnancy test. And then you go to the clinic that you're going to, the fertility clinic, and they do a test for you there, blood work. And then they check your levels to see like, because when they check your HCG levels, they can tell like if the embryo is going to stick or not. Mine were like normal, then they were low, then they were normal again. So it really just depends. And you have to go every week to get your blood work. So yeah, it's intense. But then after you realize, okay, it's sticking, you continue to go every week or every 2 weeks to the fertility clinic. However, some people don't go every week, some people go every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, but it's just what your clinic sets up for you. So I went almost every week, and they were just doing ultrasounds for the baby to see how he's growing. And it was so fun when like I finally got to see his gender and like record for them. It was so like, there was so many good moments. And then basically I was pregnant and I just went with it. It was so funny because like where they're from, I was getting cravings of like the typical food that people eat there, and I just thought like what a coincidence. So yeah, he was growing pretty good. I was gaining weight. All his tests were coming out good. And then I was 35 weeks, and for some reason I woke up and I had like a pounding headache. It felt like someone like punched me in the back of the head. And then I was like, I feel like I should get my hospital bag ready. I had that thought in my head for a while because, you know, when you get closer to the date, you get your bag ready. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get my bag ready. And then I was like, I'm gonna go back to sleep and wait for my appointment because I had a doctor's appointment that day. And when I called them and told them like, you know, I'm having this headache, and I had been having some like bloody show or whatever, and so I was like, should I come in? And they're like, you know what, just go to labor and delivery. And so I went to labor and delivery, and she was like, we're gonna do some blood work on you, just to see, you know, like a urine test and everything. My urine test came out fine. Then the blood work came, and I had pre-eclampsia. And she's like, we're gonna see how bad it is, you know, you could go home or you can have the baby today. And it ended up happening that she was like, you're not leaving, you're having him today because we don't want it to like, you know, get worse. I was already having that pounding headache, and usually when you get that, that's a sign that like things are getting serious. And I literally didn't know I had preeclampsia till that point, so it was very scary. I remember I was crying. My husband was waiting with Selena outside, and I texted him like, go drop her off at my mom's because I need you here, I'm having this baby today. It was very like traumatizing, that moment. And then also I ended up having to be like put on magnesium. Like, I feel like people don't talk about what happens when you have preeclampsia, because you just think, oh, it's a life-threatening thing, like, but if you get there it's fine. But no, you still have the delivery to worry about. Like, I had to be put on magnesium the whole time to prevent like seizures, and like your eyes are heavy because it relaxes your nerves. So like my eyes were heavy, and like it was just, I was by myself, so it was a very like intense situation. And I did end up like developing like severe anxiety from that whole situation. And the 6 weeks after, because you know you could still have preeclampsia before 6 weeks after you give birth. And like I was kind of just put, the way my therapist said is like I was kind of put in charge of like monitoring myself without having like the proper tools, because you're supposed to monitor yourself for high blood pressure, and they're just like, watch out for this headache, watch out for that. So I didn't know like what exactly, I know I should be watching out for things, but like I'm recovering from having a baby, of course I'm gonna have certain things. And so basically I should have had a blood pressure machine and I wouldn't have to worry about it. And that's kind of what spiked my anxiety, because I didn't know what was what, and it was just a crazy mess. I mean, you can ask me more questions about that in the comments if you want to know more about my experience with that, but I will stop there because I feel like I'm getting like out of track. And then I just also like wanted to say like my overall experience was good until that last moment when I got the preeclampsia, and then I had him at 35 weeks. I was worried if he was gonna be like healthy, because that's early still. I was worried because his parents had, it was COVID, and his parents had to come in. They were international, I will say that. So they had to come in. I didn't know if they were going to be able to come in. I was taking care of him in the hospital until they got there. It was a crazy like experience, definitely. And I also just wanted to say like there are a couple things that I wish someone had told me before I got into this. I wish they would have told me like, am I done having my own kids? Because for like a half a year after I had him, my anxiety was so bad that I was like, I don't know if I could have kids of my own again. And like that really like made me sad, because like I was such in a bad place with anxiety that I was heartbroken, because I'm like, I'm not mentally strong enough to have kids. I wanted to have another kid soon because my daughter's like getting older. I wanted them to be close in age. And I mean, now I'm mentally in a different place, but at that time it was just like kind of like I felt like I wasn't myself anymore, and like that was just sad to me that I thought I wasn't gonna have any more kids. And I kind of had wished that, you know, they were like, you know, because someone did ask me like, they didn't tell you, are you done having your own family? And I was like, I never even thought about that, because it does take a toll on your mentality and your physical being. Like, what if something happened and I had to get a hysterectomy? Then I literally wouldn't have to be able to have kids. And they do go over that in your legal paperwork, but I mean, in the moment you don't really think about it, especially like with being how young I was. I mean, I was 23, which also is the reason I feel like I kind of wish I would have waited, and I kind of feel like they took advantage, like the company, not took advantage, but they were like, I feel like they were on top of me more, like now reflecting back on it, because I was so young. Like, of course they want a young surrogate. A lot of the women who I knew that were surrogates were older, and they had multiple surrogate babies. Like, they're on their third, fourth, fifth, like they're done having their family. And I just like kind of wish that was a question that they had asked. Also, I feel like not that it was like solely about the money, but I kind of feel like I should have been compensated more. Like, I should have put myself at a higher compensation rate, just because after I had set mine, because they do put like average like compensation rate, and after mine, they had a calculator finally on the website, and I did it, and the amount that it said that people in my area were getting paid for first time surrogacy was like 17,000. I mean 17,000 more than what I set up for myself, which is my own fault. I could have done more research. Not that it's like anything, but I kind of do feel like I could have used some of that money to pay for my therapy after, like, you get what I'm saying? I don't know. Like, I feel like money's always a touchy subject, and I didn't do it for the money. But, like, looking back at it and seeing that, I'm kind of like, oh, damn, I should have did more research. But whatever. I mean, overall, it was a great experience. There are things that I regret. I maybe wish I did it later, or I don't know. But the family was really sweet. The baby was so cute. I love that I get like pictures of him updated. Like, I told my husband, there's literally a little human that I gave birth to. Like, I completed a family, and now I get to see him grow. Like, that is so cool. But there are, yeah, things that I maybe would have done different, or wish that would have been done different. But that's pretty much all for that. Let me know if you have any questions, and maybe I could do another separate video answering like any questions that you guys are curious about, or if you're wanting to do a surrogate journey, like, I'm here to talk if you want. But thanks for listening. I hope it wasn't all over the place. I mean, my thoughts are always all over the place, so whatever. But thank you.